I love the Guardians of the Galaxy series, so I was really excited to see Volume 3. I saw it a few days after it came out with my mom, because we were just hanging out together, and I was like, hey, we should watch Guardians of the Galaxy. Going into the theater, it looked like I was dressed to watch the movie, because I was wearing my favorite sweater, which is like a 15-year-old Marvel sweater, and my favorite hat. So it looked like I was dressed to see the movie, but that's just how I dress. And I don't know if that's more or less embarrassing. I left the theater feeling unsatisfied for reasons I'll get into. I told my friends I thought it was like a 6 out of 10, and they were like, wrong. Try again. So I decided to see it again with my friend, and then she and I got McDonald's and talked about it. No, you have to go like this.
We're really
Those are the thumbnail faces. So we are children. Thus the children food.
And the children
and the
movie.
Children toys. Okay.
And the children toys. Okay. Shall we see what we got?
Let's see. I think we got the same one. It's Nebula.
That's actually kind of cute.
I'm not unhappy about Nebula. Look at this me-looking ass. Oh!
Does her arm turn into a gun? No,
It just wiggles back and forth, which is not really that interesting at all. So, Gotti, what did you think of Guardians in the Guardians in the Galaxy Volume 3?
The Guardians in the Galaxy. Let's just start off with I'm not as a dedicated movie buff person, A, and B. Oh God, you're such a movie buff. You are. You follow the directors and you critique the script, and I'm just there to have a good time.
Okay.
I loved it. I cried 4 times. I think the end of the movie was a great transition to show this is a new chapter of Guardians of the Galaxy. When they ended the movie with this is the 2000s playlist. We're gonna get out from the 80s. This is new characters, a new squad of Guardians of the Galaxy.
But this is it. They're not making another Guardians movie.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. That's why the movie ended with Come and Get Your Love. What the first movie started with.
Wait, what? I refuse.
James Gunn is moving to DC. Oh. I know, right?
Wait, I didn't know that.
Oh my gosh, and you only cried 4 times, but imagine if you did know.
No, I would have cried way more.
I know.
Now I have to go back and watch it again, like you.
So you can cry more. It's been 10 years since Guardians 1. 10 years. Can you fucking believe that?
No, I really can't.
I know.
No, I really can't, because I love that first movie.
I know.
I think when Guardians of the Galaxy first came out, it was this is weird.
Yeah.
This is weird. Mm-hmm. And then you learn to love these characters. Wasn't it just a not popular comic book?
Mm-hmm.
That's why this, franchise was something big? No?
There was a series. Andy Lanning and Dan Abnett. They did a series in 2008. And apparently it was pretty popular.
Okay.
And it had all the characters we know, plus Phyla, who I told you about. And
right, the one that the movie ends with.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Little girl. And Adam Warlock. He's in it too.
Which
now we've met.
Mm-hmm.
Movie 1 opens there's a short little opening scene with Peter getting abducted from Earth. And then it's Come and Get Your Love. Mm-hmm. And he's dancing around and being a space pirate. And it's awesome. Mm-hmm. Movie 2, I think there's also a little opening scene of some kind. Then it's Baby Groot going around dancing to...
Yes! It had to be another 80s song.
No, that's... So I'm smiling already. Right, Mr. Blue Sky! Yes! Both of those opening scenes, so fun.
True.
Some of the funnest scenes in movie history.
Hands down.
This movie opens with an acoustic cover of Creep.
Yeah.
And Rocket, no dancing. Rocket just lazily singing along.
There's no dancing in the beginning of this movie.
This is very sad.
Because it's sad. It sets the tone. It sets up for Rocket's heart-wrenching story. But they end the movie with dancing. That was intentional.
To Lana Del Rey.
That was not Lana Del Rey.
Florence and the Machine. I have equal contempt for both.
This is your second time.
This is my second time watching it because the first time I thought, yeah, this is an okay movie. And then 6 days went by and I did not spend a single day not thinking about Rocket Raccoon. Seriously, every day he lived with me. And then I was like, okay, I have to go back and watch it again because clearly it's like it wasn't a mediocre movie. Mediocre movies you walk away from and you forget.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, oh, that was a movie, and then you move on with your day. But this, like, I kept thinking about. I've been treating my cat differently since watching this movie.
Was that what you were saying?
I swear. Because you know how he, like, stands up all the time and he just looks like a little person? I just fucking love Rocket. He went through almost, like, the most growth even in the first movie. Because when it started out, he was
guy.
ready and willing to kill all of them immediately.
Selfish.
Super selfish.
He was a selfish
and then
character.
at the end, he when they're all like linking hands to hold the Infinity Stone, he was the last one. His little raccoon hand comes. Yeah. He literally goes from "What did the galaxy ever do for you? Why would you want to save it?" to risking himself.
At the end in this movie, he also doesn't kill the
that's
God
right.
creator.
That's right. He doesn't kill the worst villain
that
ever made.
That literally fucked him up and his friends and made his life miserable. And he had the opportunity to do it. And he's like, I guess it's because I'm a guardian.
I'm a guardian of the galaxy.
He went through that arc and he did grow.
He did the most.
Oh my god, you're so
And now
right.
he's the leader.
Oh, which was perfect. Because you end up rooting for him to take over Guardians. of the Galaxy. When they saved all the animals, like very like Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
Like
Big
save all the animals and like oh my god, it's Noah's Ark. Every story is just another story retold.
Nothing new under the table.
Nothing's new.
That's a big thing I wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, okay.
Nothing's new under the sun. And how amazing that is. Because Rocket Raccoon was invented for the comics just as a silly homage to the Rocky Raccoon song by the Beatles. So already unoriginal. You hear a song from the Beatles and you're like, what if it was Rocket and he was a raccoon with a gun? In the song, he has a gun. And then James Gunn comes along and maybe he was like
genetically altered.
Right. And then like, what would that mean? What would happen next? And then the other beautiful thing about him is he is played on set by the actor, Sean Gunn.
How many guns are there?
There are a lot of guns.
Oh, okay.
Plus all the guns that Rocket has. On set, he's played by Sean Gunn. And then some of his facial expressions are done by Sean Gunn. And some of his body movements are like mocap by Sean Gunn.
Aww.
His voice is Bradley Cooper. Much of his facial features and I think some motion capture is also done by Bradley Cooper. Not to mention, of course, all of the like CGI artists involved.
Right.
So much goes in to making this one character that wasn't even like originally James Gunn's to begin with.
Right.
And it wasn't that original of an idea before that either. You know? He's like an amalgam of so many minds. And he's the best character of the MCU.
Oh, interesting.
Because he's the best of all of them.
As soon as we got out of the movies, I was like, wow, this is so good. Like, I'm going to cry. And then I asked you, like, this is your second time. How do you feel? And you're like, I have the same qualms.
Yeah. Both times I expected to feel so much because I can watch the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie over and over and over again. This movie had a lot going on. A lot happened really fast. And I didn't get a moment to just like...
You're going back and forth from like his flashbacks to the present, like, let's save Rocket. Right?
I want to cry. I still haven't cried.
I disagree. I cried 4 times. You're just out of touch with your emotions.
Yes. Accurate.
I thought about the timing and I was like, oh, like we're moving, like, okay, right? Maybe this is my ADD, but I was like, good. Next thing, let's move. Like, we have to, like, figure this out. It's an action movie.
Gosh, that scene in the hall.
Oh my god, the fight scene in the hall.
So good.
Seeing every character have their little moment where they, like, just beat up the bad guys. Like,
it worked really well.
That's what you go for them. Yeah, and it's like, superhero beats up bad guy. That's what I'm here for. And that's what I got with this movie.
I need a second to feel.
We gotta, like,
I need a moment to cry.
I guess.
I'm like Rocket. I have emotionalistical issues. Or whatever he said.
You can play with the toy.
Thank God.
Thanks. Thanks for that.
Sorry. I leaned over to my mom while we were watching, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's Nathan Fillion." She goes, "No, it's not. Oh, he's old."
Oh, like, your mom.
Yeah, Mom, that happens to people. Like, she still thinks of him as thinks of him as fucking Malcolm Reynolds.
Right.
Adam Warlock. What do you think?
I didn't care.
Right? I know what else? He was a stupid fish out of water. Mantis is a stupid fish out of water. Drax is a stupid fish out of water.
That character
Nebula is a smart fish out of water. Like, right? They can't all be stupid and fish out of water-y.
Well, they're all aliens, so they're gonna be all, like...
But they need, like, okay, Mantis is, like, she grew up fully isolated from all other living creatures, so that's how she's weird. Fine, and it works.
Right.
Drax takes everything really literally.
He's just a jock.
Yeah.
Like a jock.
Although it became that he was, like, stupid. It started he just takes things literally.
Yeah.
And then the character just got dumb. Drax and Mantis basically have the same, like, comedic thing going. Okay. Of, like, being confused, not knowing what's going on, being stupid. Okay. And then Adam Warlock comes along and has the same thing. Where he's a big stupid baby. And there's so many other ways to play it. There's so many other ways to play it.
I guess so.
What if he was more sovereign-like? What if he was like, and I'm too cool for this, and to use his big words. But then he learns to love or whatever.
Which would make sense for, like,
where he comes from.
Planet he comes from and the people he comes from. You're right. And you know why I realized you were right? Because when his mom died in the movie, no one gave a shit.
I know, right?
It was like, oh, his mom died. Okay. Like, I don't care about this character. I'm trying to think, like, did he continue the plot anywhere? And, like, not really. Like, when he got stuck on the ship with him...
Didn't do anything.
He was just there.
Yeah. He starts the movie. He's there. Mm-hmm. And then he saves Quill. And then he joins the Guardians.
Yeah. I didn't care. What does it mean that he's going home to visit his grandpa? Like, I don't...
So, okay, here's the thing. Here's what I understood. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's, like, drinking a lot because he lost his love.
Yes.
Fair. That drunkenness leads him to not be able to actually help Rocket when he's hurt. Which I think Chris Pratt did a great job playing someone who is super drunk but needs to be alert right now.
Oh yeah,
he was like he's like a fucking mess. Apparently he's routinely passing out, and then that just doesn't come up again. And then at the end he's like, I'm going home. I think instead of this awkward scene with really awkward dialogue with Mantis where she's like, your mom died and then you left your grandpa.
Oh yes, yeah. That was a bad scene. That was a bad scene.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was partially to catch up the audience.
But why was it tied? Like, why would Mantis bring it up?
Right? Mm-hmm. I think it would be really effective to just be like, you know, you lost Gamora and we lost both of you. Confronting him about this drinking and, you know, him not being around and saying, like, you left us too. And, like, we get you're sad that you lost Gamora. We also lost Gamora. And it's not fair that we have to lose you too. Like, you can come back. There's a really obvious parallel there with his grandpa. He lost his mom. His grandpa lost both of them that day. And then maybe he can, like, you know,
that's so smart.
Looking at the picture, be like, oh, I can come back. And I think it's sad that in this story that's mostly been about Peter Quill this whole time, because this movie isn't about Quill at all.
No, it's not.
And it's not I think they could have added a little more to make it about him.
you already said the movie was so filled with things. So
And
you gotta
subtract many things. Like,
I guess they
Cosmo and Kraglin. I love Cosmo. Didn't need any of it.
No,
We knew the whole time he was going to call her a good dog.
yeah.
And we knew the whole time that he was going to be able to use the arrow when it really counted. Scrap all that.
Yeah, you're
we
right.
know.
I really liked Yondu.
You did. It was so cute. She like teared up when Yondu showed up.
I really liked Yondu. Like, I mean, the second.
of your dad.
Oh god. Yondu's character in the second movie.
He also had a lot of
I
show.
loved. I mean, when
He and
Star
Rocket
Lord.
really bonded.
Yeah, him and Rocket, and him and Star Lord,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which are our two main characters that we love.
Right, and if they love Yondu, you end up
Then
loving
I'm
him.
gonna love Yondu.
Yeah.
And like Yondu's arc of like, I was a bad guy, but like really I cared deep down for this kid. And seeing Yondu again, I did like that scene.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
But
It was for you.
It was. And only me.
This is Guardians 2023, and it's also very space western. Look at that cowboy hat.
What?
Looks awesome, right? It was pretty good.
What do you mean 2023?
Meaning it came out this year.
What?
What aren't you getting? What do I need to be explaining better?
I didn't know they were like continuing these like.
Yeah. Every series is still going.
Can I see
Even
it?
the ones that shouldn't be. Yeah.
Is that Mantis?
Yeah.
Where's Groot?
Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Guardians of the Galaxy 2023 by Lansing. I recommend it. Since recording this video, issue number 2 has come out, and I think it was just okay. James Gunn basically brought the intergalactic universe of Marvel Comics to the movies. If anyone, like, doesn't know how to get into the comics because they're not really approachable, which they're not, the video game is such a beautiful bridge between the comics and these movies that it's, you know, watch the movies and then you can play the video game and then maybe you'll be able to read the comics.
Nice. Nice call to action.
Thank you. Yeah. Which I'm going to replay now.
I'll watch.
Want to play right now? I love you. So upon a rewatch, I'd raise my score from a 6 to a 7, maybe 7.5 out of 10. James Gunn clearly loves these characters. It shows it's the reason these movies work so well to begin with. And it's James Gunn's version of these characters that have enamored a generation for 10 years. I don't know. I might just have to watch this movie a third flarkin' time. Bye. What else did I want to say about this movie?
You were talking about James Gunn a lot for
I sure was.
a long time.